Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is another Thursday evening. And of course, I am very, very excited because it is the weekend of the Pens Relay. Of course, a lot of track and field happening around the world. We just concluded with the Carifta Games, and of course, our juniors, our babies did well. Sorry for the delay, just a few minutes. We were having some technical difficulties, but guess what? We are up and running, and my guest is waiting. And I just want to say, welcome, Africa, welcome, Europe, welcome, Antarctica, Oceanic, welcome, South America, welcome, North America, welcome, all the seven continents. You see, I'm a bright girl in the seven continents. Welcome wherever you are coming from already. We have people rolling in, whether you're rolling in on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you are watching. Welcome. Welcome to all the Olympians and athletes who turn out week after week. Josiah in New Jersey, hello to you. Good evening to you. Good evening, everyone. And before I bring in my guest, I just want to say, last week I was here and I was saying I don't know where I'm going to get butter and cheese from because I'm in an area where you don't get Jamaican food a lot. And I want to say thanks to Olympian and athlete Tina Lawrence. Tina Lawrence hooked me up, and also J Jar hooked me up to ensure that I was able to get butter and cheese. So I just want to say thank you to them, and thank you to everyone who is supporting the cause. And don't go anywhere, guys. I will be right back with my guest. We started a little bit late, just a few minutes. So I'm not going to keep you too long. We're just going to get into business. Don't touch that dial. Invite your friends to come on over and listen to what we have to talk about. Of course, it is always about Jamaica track and field legacy. Nothing else. All about Jamaica track and field legacy. I will see you in less than 30 seconds. Don't move.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple: to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business. Jamaica. One people, one legacy.
Get up on, no, don't stop. Future.
And we are back. And guys, please remember to subscribe, to like, share, and invite your friends to come on in because tonight I have with me one of the top coaches in Jamaica at the high school level, Mr. Neil Harrison. And of course, Coach Neil is coming to us from Philadelphia, where the Penn Relays is actually on its way. Today was day one, of course. I want to say thanks to Coach Harrison for taking the time out of his busy schedule to come and have a chat with us. Margaret Bell is already here. Welcome, welcome. Olympian, 1988 Olympian Vivian Morano is also in the building. And yes, Margaret, I was very good in geo, but you know something I learned about the seven continents in a different way. I'll tell that story another time. Donette Carnegie, welcome, and she says, good evening. Coach Harrison, welcome to HP Chat Track. How was your day, sir?
Thank you very much for having me. And the day was quite good, and it was pleasantly surprised that when you're accustomed to Penwillies being excruciatingly cold, and to see that God has blessed us with warm weather, we are eternally grateful.
Awesome, 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 awesome. And I can hear chattering in the background and everything, guys. He is in Philadelphia, as we said, guys. He's at the relay. And coach, I'm happy that you were able to turn up tonight, just for us to talk about you a little bit. But how is your team doing so far before we get into things? It's just day one. I saw that you, Mr. Hunter, won the long jump. Tell us a little bit about that quickly. Coach Harrison, are you there? Are you hearing us?
Um, okay. Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, go ahead. I think his
Are
internet
you
is a
are
little
you hearing
late.
me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying we get off on the right footing. Rickard Hunter, he won the long jump at the championship, and so it was a great start for us, and then we performed in the 4x100 meter relay, and we finished second to Jamaica College in the heat and make it into the Championship of America finals. The 4x14 did very well also. We finished second in the heat to Calabar, and also of the third fastest time into the Championship of America final, which is quite good for St. Elizabeth Technical High School.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. So Jamaica is doing well all around. You did mention Jamaica College, you mentioned Calabar, and that's what we do. That's what we do. The pen relays is our thing, and that's what we do. All right, we'll talk about a little more of that later on, Coach. But let us get into your legacy now, because you have one of the richest legacy that I've seen in high school coaching. Just tell us a little bit about where are you originally from in Jamaica, your community?
Well, actually, I'm born in Kingston and attended Tivoli Garner Comprehensive High School. And after leaving high school, I went on to the GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport. And so, in a nutshell, those are the institutions that I have attained my level of expertise.
Indeed, and yes, and I did saw that in my research, which we will talk a little bit more as we get into things. But Coach, what motivated you to get into coaching? What was that thing that hit you first, where you said, you wanted to become a coach?
Attending school, I was a member of the track and field team at Tivoli Garner Comprehensive High School and also at GC Foster College. And I did quite well as an athlete, especially at the GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport. Also participating at the pen relays, both in high school and at the college level. And I've always noticed that even as an athlete, there's always this passion to own and to develop talent. I was always assisting my teammates in terms of technique and also in terms of just encouraging and motivating them to achieve goals, aims, and objectives. So I think from high school and at college, the passion has grown and developed.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, don't mind what you're hearing in the background. It's about the pen relays. Of course, Jamaica is there in their numbers, and Peach Coach Harrison is talking to us from the Philadelphia at the Pens Relay. Coach, just talk a little bit about your coaching technique. Every coach have their own system, their different system. As a high school coach, is it really important? How early should an athlete start doing event specific training?
Well, as early as they enter the institution, because it's about participating at the various levels. And when you're attending an institution, any institution, whether it's BSTETs or any other high schools, then you have different categories, where you compete as an athlete. You have class 4, you have class 3, you have class 2, you have class 1. And so the moment you set foot in the institution at grade 7 or first form, it is always important to start to own and to develop talent. Now, the training method will be different based on your training age, your biological age, and so you will use your methodology of training in order to achieve the objective that you so desired, regardless of the age group.
Well, athletes are developed in different ways. We learn differently, some of us quicker than some. How much focus do you have to put on? I mean, I know that the physical is important. A lot of work is put into the physical, but how much work do you have to do to merge both the mental and the physical in, especially at high stake competitions?
Sports is actually 90% mental and maybe 10% physical. And
I've heard
if
that
you're
so
going to
many
perform well
times.
in sports, if you're going to perform well in sports, the physical, the psychological, the nutritional, each is interdependent on the other in order for the athlete to do well. And so you cannot ignore one because the athlete that is physically prepared and have mental issues in terms of how they perform, nervous breakdown, adrenaline rush, how do you control and maintain that kind of a behavior? It is going to be certainly dependent on the performance of the athlete. And so while it might be difficult to coach the mental aspect,
Bear with us.
it also played a very role in terms of athlete performance.
Okay. Bear with us, guys. As I said before, coach is on the road. He's on the road. So, he's going to be buffering, just a little bit, but just bear with us. The work, has to go on. It doesn't matter where you're. And of course, as I said before, he is on the road because he is in Philadelphia at the Pens Relay. And as I said that, okay, all right. So we're having a little internet challenges. Are you hearing me, coach? All right, I think coach is having a little problem hearing me. Coach Harrison.
I'm hearing you now.
Okay, okay. The internet, we're
I'm
having a
hearing
little
you.
problem.
I'm hearing you quite well.
Okay, good, good, good. We're having a little problem with the internet, but let us go on. Let us continue. In everything, I think that formal training is important. How would you say, how important was it for you to get your formal training, especially at GC Foster College? How has that helped you and helped your career? All right, guys. I think we are definitely having some challenges here
Without
because
a scientific background.
all right, coach, we're having some technical difficulties. I think coach Wi-Fi is a little um I guess it's a little busy because you have a lot of people there, but coach, we're not getting your feed as all right. Let us Can you hear me? Are you hearing me okay? Coach, are you hearing
I'm
me?
hearing you though. I'm hearing you quite well.
Okay, but your feed is not coming through. I'm not sure why. All right,
Yes,
let
I'm
me ask.
hearing you very well.
Oh, you're hearing me. Okay. All right, guys. I'm sorry about this, guys. As I said before, he's on the road. But going back to you, coach, how important was the formal training for you? How has it helped in your career attending GC Foster and learning what you have learned and all the niceties? How has it helped?
Okay, so sports is a science, and it is important that you understand the science, the scientific aspect of training in order to achieve the objective that you so desired. You have to actually know about the body in order to know how the body function and how the body operates in order to get the body to execute and to do the job that you want it to do. And if you are not aware and will learn of the various components and the aspect of physiology, anatomy, psychology, it is going to be a bit challenging for you in order to achieve the objective. Let us say, for example, if you are going into the starting block, then you have to know the actions that are involved in the starting block. For example, once you go on your mark, then you know that there's flexion, of the knee. And when you're having a flexion of the knee, then there are muscles that are going to be involved that cause the knees to flex. And the muscles that cause the knees to flex is actually like the semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and the bicep femoris. And so you must be able to understand how you move from flexion to extension to abduction to adduction to rotation.
Wow.
And
Keep going,
so
coach.
when
Keep
you
going.
are very much in tune with the
All right. You know something? All right, coach. We are having some challenges with the we're having some challenges with the audio, coach, with the I think your Wi-Fi is a little busy. I think the traffic on your internet is a little busy. So we're not hearing you clearly. And coach, I really want to do this interview because you're talking about some very tendonitis and dysonitis and all kind of nitis that I think is enough for the audience to get. So, coach, I think what I'm going to do is I think I want us to do this interview next week when you're home, when we have, because we're not getting you clearly, and I don't want us to miss anything. Can we do that? Can we reschedule for next week?
no problem.
Right, because the thing is that we're not getting. I'm trying to get, but we're not
I,
getting. So, coach, what we're going to do tonight, we're just going to talk about some random stuff, and then now we do the full interview next week because you're sharing some real good information that we are missing. So let us talk about some other things now, coach, and hold off on those. What are your expectations um at the for the rest of the pen relays as it relates to your team, the Jamaican teams?
well, pretty much we, we have both male and a female team. The female will be participating in the 4x4. We have females who will be participating also into the discus event. And who's a silver medalist at the recent concluded Carifta Games, is also at the Pen Relays. We have high expectations of her as well, and we are hoping that she can move that silver into our gold. She have the potential, and we are just hoping that she will just rise to the occasion. The females will start their competition on Saturday, and they are ready. They are motivated, and after seeing their male counterpart into two finals and also a long jump gold medal list from Ricard Hunter, I think that is enough motivation for them in order to get themselves into a good spirit and to compete to the best of their ability.
Sounds good. I love it. What about the other Jamaican teams, the other high schools, the senior team? I don't know if we have a senior team there, but as it relates to the high school, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven,
The-
eight.
the- Well, in the Championship of America 4x100 meter relays, there are 9 finalists inside that finals, and of the 9 finalists, there are 7 schools from Jamaica that is into that
Wow.
final. The other 2 schools are
Wow.
from the states. So
Awesome.
7 from 9, Jamaica is.
Awesome. Awesome. You hear that, guys? 9 schools are in the Championship of America final, and of the 9 schools, 7 of them are from Jamaica. We're something else, little, but with Talawa. Of course, the other 2 high schools are from the United States. Coach, let us talk a little bit about other stuff, some random stuff, because I don't want us to talk about the some stuff that I really wanted us to get into. But let us talk about false start a little bit. Um, Reaction time. How much do you know about what reaction time? What does reaction time mean? for the average person who doesn't know?
Could you repeat that, please?
No, I was just asking, let us talk a little bit about some random stuff. What does reaction time mean for the average person who doesn't understand it? What does it really mean?
Okay, for every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. And so you're actually responding to a stimuli. And so if you're competing, you have on the mark, you have set, and then you're going to respond to the gun. And reactions are fast, the power and explosiveness that you're going to leave from the block in order to move from point A to point B.
Wow. And normally that is registered with a time. If you're faster than zero point 0.1, no, if you're slower than zero point 0.1, then you have false started.
Yeah. Okay, so the starting block is hooked up to a timing system, and when you apply pressure to the blocks, right, that is what can trigger the response. And so one of the problem is that when you see an athlete false start, and you may not see it with your naked eyes, because sometimes the pressure is just slightly released from the block and then it is picked up on the machine. And so there are circumstances when individual will say that no, the athlete did not false start and they are cheating, and you hear all kind of excuse and complaints and whatever. But there's actually a system that is so designed that once a pressure is applied to the block, it will release amount of pressure, which will send a signal to the machine that tells you that the leg have moved from the block. And so with the naked eye, you will not actually pick that up. And so this is what sometimes some people will say, I did not false start, I did no such thing. I don't know why I'm being given red, but the machine itself picked up the signals.
So then the trick is when you're in the blocks and you go on your mark, it's easy to keep pressure on the blocks. But the minute you go set, then that's where the problem lies.
Yes, because speed is a component of power and efficiency. And so when you're into the when you are into the set position, you have what you call the anterior leg and the posterior leg. The anterior leg is the leg that is in front. The posterior leg is the leg that is behind. Some people, the layman, will say front foot and back foot, but only cow and goat have front foot and back foot. We are human beings, but when one foot is in front of the other, we say anterior leg and we say posterior leg. And so when you're on the mark, the angle, the angle of the posterior leg and the angle of the anterior leg is going to be at different degrees. So it is between 90 and 110 for the anterior, and between 110 and 120 for the posterior. When you move into the set position, the posterior leg is going to apply pressure. Now, when you're applying that the pressure to the block, it is that pressure that you are going to drive the foot forward in order for you to generate that force into the ground in order to get optimum speed. And therefore, there are times when you're into the set position that the amount of pressure and the amount of tension, if you release any of that, that is going to send a signal to the machine that will tell you that you are false start. So a lot of people, many occasions, is they only see when you drive out of the block and you drive out first and they say that is a false start. Yes, that is also a false start, but the moment you release that pressure from the block, it is going to send a signal to the machine that you have also false start.
Wow, coach, I definitely want to have a discussion with you, but I want it to flow so that the audience can understand because you are educating me. You are saying a lot of stuff. You're using a lot of what you would call medical term or biological terms. And, I like that very much. But before we go any further, I just want to say hello to everyone coming in. Ethelyn Tate, Olympian 1988 Olympian Ethelyn Tate is there. Lilith Hodges, 3 times Olympia, 1972, 1976, 1980. She's also in the building. Dorothy Scott Genius is also there, 1988 Olympians. I just love to see the athletes come on out. But coach, I'm not going to keep you any longer because I want to save these questions for when we have a better channel of communication. But I'm going to let you go now, and all the best for with your team and Jamaica, the rest of the teams at the Penn's Relay 2025 edition in Philadelphia, the home of the Penn Relay. Thank you very much, Coach, and I will touch base with you on the weekend for us to schedule for next week when we will have a better internet because you you have a wealth of knowledge. Of course, we're going to talk about all the schools that you've been a part of and the school that you're currently now a part of. So thank you very much, Coach, and all the best at the relays. Win up all those medals and stuff, and we will do this next week. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure. I'm a product of DC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport. I'm always willing to share, and so at any convenient time to you, I'll be more than willing.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you. I'll talk to you. Guys, we will see Coach next week. His communication, the communication link is very choppy. Of course, he's on the road. He's in Philadelphia at the hotel, and of course, I'm sure a lot of people are on the Wi-Fi, so it is a little choppy, and we're not hearing him. And when we do interviews over here, we want to hear everything because we are about teaching, we're about educating people about Jamaica track and field legacy, the coaches, the athletes, the fans, everyone who have been a part of this legacy. And let me tell you, Coach Neil Harrison have a lot of information in his head. The man is everything he's talking about is the biological of the body, how the human body set up and how we respond to training and the different types of training. We are going to go into that with him next week. But I'm very sorry, guys, you did not get to hear the full interview. But as I said before, he's on the road, he's at the relays, and the internet is not the best. So I prefer to for us to just chat a little bit and then go back to that next week because he has a lot of information to share. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend a little bit more time with you before I go because I'm all dressed up and I'm sure you're all dressed up. Let us freestyle. Ask me anything and I will try and answer your question. Please keep it PG-1. So when I say PG-1, it means that even the 1-year-old can hear it. So ask me any question. Throw me a question in the comment section and I will try and answer it for you. And then we will leave here and come back next week with Coach Neil Harrison, one of Jamaica top coaches. And when you look at his resume, this man, he has done a lot for the country in terms of the development of our athletes, our junior athletes, and we've seen them every day. I mean, he has been to, I don't want to give away the information because I want him to be here to be a part of me sharing it. So I'm not going to I'm not going to tell you guys too much, but let me tell you, he has done a lot, not just for track and field, but also football. Yes, he has done a lot for our football in Jamaica. And I'm not just talking about the Dakar Cup, also the Manning Cup. He has had his feet wet and, he has contributed a lot. So next week, we will have Coach Harrison when the internet is a little bit better. So guys, ask me something, and I will tell you. And while you're thinking about your question, have you seen the team for the relays? All right, let me share that with you. The World Relays will be coming up on May 10th to 11th. Yeah, May 10th to 11th. That's in China. And of course, the World Relay will be the qualifying for the World Championship, which will be held in Japan. Yes, let me say that again. The World Relays 2025 will be qualifying for relay teams in the 4x1 and 4x4 at the World Championship this year. If many of you remember last year, the Jamaica men's 4x4 team did not make it to Paris because we did not qualify. Of course, we were trying to chase a qualifying mark down to the last day of the deadline, and of course, we weren't able to make it. So we did not go to the Olympic Games, the first in many many years before a lot of you were born. Jamaica's been a part of the 4x4 since 1948. 1948, we were the favorites to win the 4x4, and of course, we lost that medal because Dr. Arthur Wynn, got injured on the third leg. But 1952, we came back and won it in record time with Mr. Leslie, Arthur Wynn, George Roden, and the outstanding Herb McKinley. So let me tell you now who is on the team. All right, let me see if there's a question. Let me see if someone has a question for me. Okay. Margaret Bell is saying, I want us to have a teaching session with him. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Margaret, I will, my number is on the screen if you want to grab it, and then I can get you access to Coach Harrison. So that's what she's saying. Track Hero, One Track Hero is saying, how do you get track and field certified via World Athletics and the cost? I want to get certified. Okay, One Track Hero, what I know is that in order to get certified, I think you have to get in touch with the J3s. I think that is the link to get you certified for World Athletics certification. But what you can do, my number is on the screen. Just grab it, and I'll get some more information for you and pass it on to you. Coach Kino can answer that question because he recently did his level 1. So, Coach Kino, you can provide One Track Hero with a little of that information. But if you contact the J3A's One Track Hero, I think you should be able to get some information how to become certified. Yay, another coach. Margaret Bell is saying, are you only focusing on Jamaica? Do you plan to expand to other countries in the future? I like that question, Margaret. I like that question, Margaret. And a matter of fact, I have been thinking for the last few days that I want to do something. I want to have discussions with other countries, but I would call it something else, and that will be a different show. I'm trying to plan it for a Tuesday night, but I want to do it with other people from other countries, preferably women. And I'll tell you why women. You have so many men in sports, and I'm trying to get the women out to talk about sports, to do the research and talk about sports. But if it's not a women's team, then men is fine. But I like that question, Margaret. So I plan to do something with people from other countries, and I'm already trying to reach out with someone. I've already reached out to Trinidad. Trinidad is one of the countries that I have reached out to and said, let us collaborate and talk about track and field in the region. I tell you what's going on in my country, you tell me what's going on with yours. So yes, Margaret, I am planning on doing that. So if you know anybody who is into track and field from their country and they want to collaborate, just give them my number, Margaret, or get in touch with me and we can work it out. But I am actually working on a new program for HB Chat Track. Let me see the next question. Monica Lewis is saying good night. Hey Monica, how are you? Welcome. She's saying that she just got home from the Pens relays. How was it, Monica? Give us some feedback about what is going on in Philadelphia. If you're just joining and you're wondering how is it that I'm here chatting away, my guest for tonight was Coach Neil Harrison. Of course, he's also in Philadelphia, but his connection was not clear, and I want us to have a good interview, a good chat. So we have postponed, or we will continue next week when he's home, when the Wi-Fi is a little bit better. Marlene Green is saying good night, all. Coach Kino is saying, okay, Coach Kino is saying the same thing that I am saying. He's saying if you want to become World Athletic Certified, you can contact the J3As, and you can also contact the JATAFCA. And okay, he's saying not the J3As. You can contact the JATAFCA. So anyone who is trying to get World Athletics certified, J3A is not the place to contact. You can contact the JATAFCA. Coach Kino, if you could provide us with a number, that would be nice. That would be nice. You're welcome, Track Hero. You're welcome. So Track Hero wants to get certified. Of course, he or she will become another coach added to the many, many coaches that we have. Okay, Margaret Bell is saying, sounds like a good plan, HP. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you very much for that, Margaret. So you see, the interview didn't work out, but we get to talk about other things, such as how to get certified as a coach with World Athletics. What are the plans around here if I intend to go outside of Jamaica? And yes, I plan to do that. But of course, I'm going to stay very, very close to the Jamaica track and field legacy, because that's what we are about. But another show is coming, and I would love for Coach Kino to be the host of that show, but we will see. So Jamaica Track and Field Coaches Association is the place to contact. Uh, what else we can talk about? Okay, I was going to share the information. The team, this is the team that will be going to the World Relays for Jamaica. The World Relays, as I said before, is May 10 to 11, and it will be the qualifying for the World Championship. And here we go. For the sprint relays, for the 4x1 and the 4x1 mixed relay, for the women, we have Nisha Berger, Tina Clayton, Serena Cole, Sharika Jackson, Natasha Morrison, Shelly Ann Fraser Price, five-time world champion, Alana Reed, and Crystal Slowly. For the men, we have Akeem Blake, Johan Blake. I'm always happy to see Johan. Julian Ford, Rashid Foster, Brian Level, Javari Thomas, Kishane Thompson, and Rowan Watson. So those are the men and women for the sprint. Now for the 400 meter, 4x400 meter relays and 4x4 mix for the women, we have Shauna K. Anderson, Kellyanne Beckford, Renisha McGregor, Cheyenne Salmon, Rhonda White, Jodine Williams, and Stacey Williams. For the men, we have Zandrian Barnes, Javier Brown, Damar Francis, Malik James King, Delano Kennedy, Rasheen McDonald, Big Boy, and Tyrese Roden. So these will be the athletes who will be trying to qualify the country for the World Championship in Japan for the 4x1 100-meter relay, the 4x1 mixed relay, the 4x4 100-meter relays, and the 4x400 mixed relay. Guys, there is a new relay to the to World Athletics Championship, the mixed 4x1. What a relay that will be. What a relay. And of course, this relay will be introduced this this season. This relay will be this season. And also just to show some love to the Carifta team. The Carifta Games just concluded on Monday of this week, yes. And of course, Jamaica again, once more dominated, but Trinidad was buzzing. Trinidad and Tobago was buzzing, and of course, Jamaica came home with a lot of hardware. I think we came home with 73 medals, and we did it again. We topped the medal table again for, I think, more than 40. We've gone over 40 times topping the medal table, 30 odd straight. So congrats to our juniors and the coaches and the staff and everyone. Congrats for making Jamaica proud again. Of course, they are now in Philadelphia a few days after competing at the Caribbean Games. Many of our athletes travel to Philadelphia where they will compete again for their school and for their country. Wow, that is just outstanding. So, guys, if you don't have any questions for me, I am going to go now. Okay, Monica is saying, let's see what Monica is saying. Monica Lewis saying we did very good. HP Calabar had one of the fastest times in the 4x400 meter relay. Saying Jago, first runner in the 4x4, was hurt and did not finish. Oh wow, did not finish. Overall, Jamaica did well in their heats today. That is that is always painful, always painful. Thank you very much for that update, Monica. Thank you very much. And guys, as I said before, um, something else, another show will be coming to this platform very soon, and it will be coming on hopefully on a Tuesday night. But it's in the making, working on it and stuff. So if you don't have any other questions for me, thank you guys for being here. And I'm very sorry that we weren't able to complete tonight's interview, but we want it to be done perfectly. Yes, we want it to be done properly, and we want you to hear everything. So because the audio coming from Philadelphia was not the best, we decided to pause until next week. So please come back next week when we will finish this up with Coach Harrison, and we will hear a lot of things here about his legacy, Jamaica's legacy, a lot of schools legacy. So guys, thank you very, very much. Dorothy Scott Genius, hello, Olympia 1980-1984 for Jamaica, formerly of Vere Technical High School. Thank you guys for being here, and I will catch you next week when we will do it the right way. Rainford is saying, Rainford is asking me if I have a call in. Okay, Rainford, we're going to test something now and see if this will work. All right, go ahead and call. Go ahead and call Rainford. Let's see if this will work for us. Rainford wants to call in, guys. So let us give him a chance to call in. Go ahead and call Rainford. Rainford H is going to call. Let's see if this will work. All right, guys, we're waiting on Rainford H. Scouty, otherwise known as Scouty. All right, so it's do or die. We're going to see if this device work. Where is Hunter? Is he calling? I want to also say a special good night to Unseen Sports TV. Okay, okay, guys, a call is coming in. Rainford Hunter, good night. You're live on HP Chat Track. Yes, I'm hearing you. Guys, if you can hear the caller, let me know. Can you hear, guys? I am hearing him. Oh, for them to call in. Okay, okay. Okay, well, like how you're on the call now, I want you to say something. I want you to say, can you guys hear Rainforest? Yes. Okay, one moment, caller. One moment. Yes, Miss Vilma Charlton. Welcome. Good night. I really, really wanted Coach Neil's story to be heard, and she's saying yes, she wanted to hear his story. But it's one of those things. Sometimes he's on the road. He's not in the comfort of his home or space. So, but next week for sure, Miss Vilma, we will. God's willing, we will have him tell his story because he was going into some deep stuff. Okay, Hunter, go ahead. Mark is saying, go ahead, caller. Okay, 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 okay. I think all right, let me try this another way. All right, before you go Rainford, we just want to test it another way. Um I want you to say something that is relating to track and field. I want to see if my audience can hear you. So go ahead. Say anything. Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for that, Scotty. Thank you very much for calling in on HV Chat Track. Have a good night. Thank you. Okay, thanks. All right, guys, it's the first I'm using this device for calling. Please give me some feedback so I know what to do next time. Okay, Coach Kino was saying it is a little better. Were you hearing? Mark Morano was saying he wasn't hearing. Kino was saying that that's a little better. Anyway, guys, we're going to go now. And as I said before, I apologize. I'm sorry we did not get to hear Coach Neil Harrison. But don't move that dial. We'll be back next week when we will have him telling his story in full, and we will be, we will be impressed with this man's resume. And this is what we're here for, to highlight the people who have done it, who have contributed to our legacy. So, guys, have a good night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the relays. Cheer for the schools in Philadelphia at the Pens Relay. Make sure that you cheer for all the schools, cheer for Jamaica, and you have a good night. And we will be back next week. Yes, we will be back next week. God's willing, we will be back here next week. Have a good night and thank you for joining as usual. Have a good night. Have a great weekend.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple, to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business. Jamaica. One people, one legacy.